videotaping me?
Because this is unlawful.
Ma'am, he's running me over.
No, I'm not.
Ma'am, hurry, please, hurry. Mike! 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 Yes, please, hurry, ma'am. Ma'am, I don't know, and he's a lunatic, and he's videotaping me. Ma'am, please hurry. Mike! You're in trouble.
How
You're
so?
going to jail.
How so?
You're hurting me.
How?
You just ran over. Ma'am, please hurry. He just ran over and he's still moving. Please, ma'am. Please hurry.
What's good, y'all? Back again today with a very special video. So, as you see by the title, this video is titled Attack of the Karens. Yes, that's right. Attack of the Karens. I just have to go quickly into this name Karen as it relates to white women real quick, just so that we have a ground level of understanding. So I didn't make this phrase up, but basically black people in general have coined the term Karen to describe generally middle-aged white women who are calling the police on unsuspecting black people, right? We could have the lady who called the police on the people having a barbecue in the park. The other incident where the woman called the police on the little black girl who was selling water and lemonade. There's multiple instances that I can show to show where white women are being filmed calling the police for apparently no reason. I want to let this be known that this is not a new phenomenon, right? This is not a new thing. If we could go back to Emmett Till, where a white woman claimed that a black man whistled at her, or whatever the case may be, and they beat this black man to the point where he was unrecognizable. This has been going on since the beginning of time. But the difference is now black people are able to film it with these little things we call phones. It's a little different because now you're really seeing exactly what's happening. And I'm not here to defend all black people and say that no black person has ever posed a threat to a white woman, but more times than not, especially in these instances that are being filmed, you see these white women just ridiculously making up claims, false claims. And this is what we need to talk about, the attack of the Karens. Black people came up with this phrase Karen to describe a white woman who's just belligerent and falsely entitled and using the police as her guard dogs. We need to talk about how white America views police versus how the majority of black America views police. Majority of white America views police in the good old TV sense, in the sense that they're here to quote unquote protect and serve. That phrase, to me, I never understood quite what that meant, to protect and serve. Like, who are you protecting and who are you serving exactly? That's kind of a broad sentence, don't you think? To protect and serve. Okay, I guess. But when you really look at the history and what has happened, it seems as though the police are more so protecting the white civilians as opposed to the black ones. But that's a whole nother video. We're talking about Karen and how she uses the police as her guard dogs. Of course, I could show you many different videos, but I wanted to talk about something specifically. You saw that video in the beginning. Now, that was a funny example of a white woman just being ridiculous. I mean, clearly, if you watch the video, that woman is standing in front of a car, calling the police, saying that this man is posing a threat to her when she could easily just move out of the way. First of all, you're wasting taxpayers' money. You're wasting the time of the police or the paramedics who could be tending to real life situations, real life emergencies. Mike! There needs to be some type of fine or some type of ticket for people calling the police for instances that are not emergencies. That's the first thing. There's funny instances where it's like, wow, this lady's tripping. But then when you talk about being black in America, it's not so funny when a white, seemingly helpless and vulnerable and fragile woman is calling the police on you and saying you're a threat. This is where I want to show you this next video. Let's look at this video.
Please don't come close to me.
Sir, I'm asking you to stop recording me.
Please don't come close to me.
Please take your phone off.
Please don't come close to
And
me.
I'm taking pictures and calling the cops.
Please call the cops. Please call the cops.
I'm going to tell them there's an African-American man threatening my life. I'm going to tell them there's an African-American man threatening my life.
Please tell them whatever you like.
Excuse me? I'm sorry, I'm in the Ramble, and there is a man, African-American, who has a bicycle helmet. He is recording me and threatening me and my dog. There is an African-American man, I am in Central Park. He is recording me and threatening myself and my dog. And my... I'm sorry, I can't hear you either. I'm being threatened by a man in the Ramble. Please send the cops immediately.
So you see that, right? So this is exactly what I want to talk about. The woman in that video, her name is Amy Cooper. Funny little side note about that name, Cooper. Coincidentally, my government name, or my slave name, I guess you would call it, my biological father's last name is Cooper. A lot of people in the real world know me as just Cooper. That's what they just call me because that's my biological, technical, government slave name. Let's talk about that real quick, how coincidentally, the woman's name in that video that we just watched, her name is Amy Cooper. The man that's filming, who was a black gentleman, just simply asked her to put a leash onto her dog because she was walking her dog in Central Park, right? It was illegal to walk a dog without a leash. So this black man said, hey, can you please follow the rules and put a leash on your dog because that dog may be dangerous? And this woman proceeded to call the police on this black man. Before she calls though, this is the really important part that we need to notice and break down. Before she calls the police on this man, she tells the black man, I'm going to call the police. And then she says, I'm going to tell the police when I talk to them that an African-American man is threatening my life.
I'm going to tell them there's an African-American man threatening my life.
Now that's exactly the most Karen statement you can make. That is the most Karen statement you can make. A gentleman asks you to please put a leash on your dog because that is the rules of the park. And you say you're gonna call the police and say that an African-American man is threatening your life. Now, why would she say that? And why would she tell him that? Let's break it down. The reason why she told him that is because she wants to scare him. She wants to intimidate him. She knows, per the history of this country, let's not act stupid, the history of this country tells white people that they can utilize the police to destroy black people. We have, like I said, many instances on camera, many instances before the camera was even invented. White people have been using the so-called authorities to get black people in precarious situations. So we don't even gotta go down the list of examples there. But that woman knew how powerful it was for a black man to hear the words, the police are coming. Because let's be honest, if you were born in America and you're a black man, you hear those sirens in the back? Yeah. If you're a black man in America and you hear those sirens, it hits a little different than everybody else. When you hear the police are gonna be called, you have to start thinking about other things than normal people think about. When you see the police behind you, possibly pulling you over, you don't have to just think about, was I going 10 over the speed limit, or do I have my seatbelt on? A black man in America has to think, am I gonna die today or be falsely imprisoned today? Are situations gonna escalate to the point where I go to jail today? And again, I'm not here to convince anybody. I'm just here to give clarity to those who seek it. I'm not here anymore to try to give you every single example to try to convince you why racism is real. If you don't get it by now in 2020, whatever. I'm here to talk to the people who understand it and want a little clarity of the things that are going on. So back to this woman, Amy Cooper, who we'll call Karen. Her last name is Cooper, and the gentleman who asked her to put on a leash on her dog, his last name is Cooper. Now, how coincidental is it that two people are in an altercation, a black man and a white woman? Both of them have the same last name, Cooper. How does that happen? Have you ever heard of an Asian man with the last name Cooper? Have you ever heard of a so-called Latino man with the last name Cooper? Have you ever heard of an Arab man, so-called, with the last name Cooper? No, but for some reason, you find many black Americans with the last name Cooper, such as myself. Like I said, ironically, my last name is Cooper. And so I started to think, wow, how ironic is it that this white woman who is trying to get this black man in jail or killed has the same last name as him. Why? Because somewhere down the line, we all know a white man who we call a slave master owned a stock of Negroes and named those Negroes after himself. This is why people like Malcolm X changed their whole last name completely. Malcolm X just said, fuck it, I'll just change my last name to an X, meaning unknown. I'd rather say my name is unknown, which it is unknown. At least I'd rather say that I don't know, than to walk around proudly carrying a last name that is given to me by a man that used to beat and rape and torture my family. That's insanity. But again, black people in general are dealing with a level of insanity that we first have to unravel. We have to unravel the levels of insanity that we're living before we can cure them. This is what I'm trying to do with my channel. This black man has a last name given to him by possibly this woman's family, the Cooper family, right? And here she is in 2020 making up lies and calling the police and telling them that a African-American man is threatening her life. And again, why is this important that she said those words to the police? When you say an African-American or a black person is doing anything negative and you call the police and you say those words, that's a code word. Again, I'm not here to convince y'all. I don't even have time. I wasn't even gonna make this video, but some dots started connecting. I said, let me just go make this video right quick, just in case, you know, anybody wanna hear it. Because I know a million people gonna talk about these videos and my voice is gonna get drowned out. But this is just what it is. I started connecting the dots. That's exactly what it is. It's a code word. You call the police and you're white and or any other nationality other than black American, and you say a black person is stealing, a black person is looking suspicious, an African American has been sitting in their car for too long, this black person is acting belligerent in the store. You say those words, the police will get there in 30 seconds. Now the funny thing about that is I don't call the police at all, just for my own reasons. But I remember one time not too long ago, I had lost some headphones that were like $300. You know, these Dr. Dre headphones, they cost all this damn money. I had bought them with my dumb ass. I lost them with my dumb ass, or should I say I got them stolen with my dumb ass. Somebody told me, because I was at Starbucks when they got stolen, somebody told me, hey man, you should call the police. They have cameras here. You should file a police report and maybe they can find your earphones for you. I'm like, man, I don't really fuck with the police. They're like, nah, do it, it's okay. They got the cameras. I'm like, all right. So I tried to file a police report. You know, I called the police. You know, I was there for 3 hours at Starbucks waiting for the police to get there to file a police report. They didn't come. I had to go to work. I had to leave. 3.5 hours later, I had to leave. My point in bringing that story up is when you call the police, when you need something, you'll be lucky if they show up that same day, if you black. But when you call the police and say an African American is doing something suspicious, watch the SWAT team pull up in 30 seconds. Watch SEAL Team 6 just bust down the door with the motherfucking, with the rope and all that out the helicopter on some super secret mission shit. The moment you hear a black person was doing anything out of the ordinary, they gonna have the police there in 30 seconds, and you know I'm telling the truth. It don't matter if you're in the suburbs, if you're in the hood, it don't matter where you are. If you give a call, especially if you're a white person and you sound panicked, oh my God, this African American, he was walking so close to me. The police will be there in 30 seconds. And this woman, Amy Cooper, or should I say Karen Cooper, she knew that. So she told this black man, I'm gonna call the police and tell them that an African American is threatening my life. Basically saying, nigga, you better get out my face or I'm gonna get you killed. That's what that translates to. And what did the man do? Because he hadn't broken any laws, and as a matter of fact, she was the one that was in violation. He said, go ahead, call the police. And that's another thing which y'all gotta realize, Karen. Realize that black people aren't really scared like y'all really want us to be anymore. That was a phase where we were scared, you beat us down, we weren't used to being beaten, we weren't used to your cruel methods of torture. So we were just subservient, and we were docile, and we just wanted it to end. But now that there's a new class of black people who studied the past and have seen the patterns of your treachery and your wickedness, you can't surprise us and you can't scare us no more. I'm gonna call the police and all this other shit. You know how many times I've personally had the police either called on me or come up to me, or people threatened to call the police on me? I was at Whataburger. The man messed up my order and I tried to talk about it. He said he's gonna call the police on me. It's like, damn, it's like I said, it's a code word, because they know niggas don't want nothing to do with the police. They know that. So this woman, again, Karen Cooper, who has the same slave name that I have, she's threatening this black man. And it goes back to, like I said, before then, this is not new. We could talk about Emmett Till. Black man, young man, allegedly whistled at this woman or whatever, made a pass at her, that's what she said. Got this man beaten up by the white supremacists that live over there, and the so-called authorities got him beat up and threw this man in the river and all type of stuff. Turns out, not too long ago, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, the same white woman allegedly on her deathbed said that, oh, I made this story up. I just can't live with myself any longer. I don't want to die with this on my chest. I made that whole story up about him whistling at me. He didn't really do that. This man got beat up and killed to the point where he was unrecognizable by his family. And all you got to say about it was, oh, I just want to get it off my chest now that it's over. You see how Karen does? Karen has been doing this. And this isn't a derogatory statement to call someone a Karen. That's another thing. I saw a meme. This white woman made a meme saying that, oh, Karen is just as offensive as the N-word. Like, I'm not even gonna go there. Y'all are wilding, y'all are losing y'all minds. But I wanna make one more point before I end, because you know I don't like to take too much of y'all time. Let's watch this last video real quick.
Police say she confessed to the murder, and new tonight, police officers say there were 2 crime scenes.
The mother actually went before a judge today. Local 10 News reporter Leanne Morejon live in Southwest Miami-Dade with an update.
Yeah, that's right. We know that this mother, according to police, tried not once but twice to kill her son by leading him into a body of water, I should say. The second time, her plan worked.
45-year-old Patricia Ripley faces charges of murder and premeditated attempted murder in connection with the death of her own son, Alejandro Ripley.
Court finds probable cause. Count 1 would be no bond. Count 2 is $100,000.
A call for help placed by Ripley herself set off an Amber Alert and a desperate search for Alejandro, who was 9 years old and diagnosed with nonverbal autism. She told police she was followed and ambushed by 2 black men. She told police she was followed and ambushed by 2 black men.
She told police she was followed and ambushed by 2 black men
who demanded drugs before making off with her phone and Alejandro. Investigators say during questioning, Ripley admitted to making up the harrowing abduction story. Ripley admitted to making up the harrowing abduction story and confessed to what really happened. They say at 7:30 Thursday night, Ripley was seen on surveillance video pushing her son into a canal at the Kendall Acres condominium complex. Neighbors there intervened before the boy could drown. An hour later, they say she found another canal at Southwest 62nd Street and 138th Court and led Alejandro into the water. The boy's lifeless body was found Friday morning.
The death of a child is tragic. The killing of a child is horrific.
Miami-Dade Police Director Freddie Ramirez and State Attorney Catherine Fernandez-Rundle addressed the case in a news conference today. Director Ramirez points out not only the horror of a mother allegedly killing her own son, but the added insult of what police say is a fabricated story that blames 2 made-up black men for a heinous crime.
I'm deeply saddened for what happened to that young boy, and then for her to displace blame of her crime on another community is just as well another crime that was committed.
Ripley's defense attorney says the public should wait for more facts to emerge before forming an opinion about his client.
They're good people, and we would appreciate that everyone reserve judgment for another day once we know a little more about what's going on here.
Tonight, Patricia Ripley is being held behind bars without bond. We're live in Southwest Miami-Dade. I'm Leanne Morejon, Local 10 News.
So you see that, right? This is, again, what I'm talking about. Here this woman is a not black woman, clearly a not black woman with her not black child, she pushes her child who has autism into a river. Caught on camera. She doesn't even know she's on camera. Pushes him into a river, makes him drown, then runs away, right? When she calls the police to report her child missing. Now listen to this. This is the wicked nature of the heathens that actually blame black people for every single thing they do. This woman pushed her own son, who has autism, into the river, drowned him, ran away from him, then made up a story and called the police and said that black men did it. Black men. Now think about that. I'm gonna just leave you with that because of course, like I said, I'm not gonna take too much of your time, but I'm gonna just leave you with that. Why did this woman not only make up a story? First of all, why did she kill her kid? That's the first question. There's so many questions. Why would you kill your own child? Why would you go about it by just pushing him into the open lake right there in front of everybody? The next question after that is, why would you just run away like that? Then the next question is, after you did all that, why would you call the police and make a story like trying to cover your tracks? Let's just say I understand why you pushed your son into a river, drowned him, ran away, made up a story to cover your tracks. Let's just say I understand, which I don't, but let's just go along with you. At what point did you think, oh yeah, let me tell the cops it was black men who did it? Black men, where did we come from? You just pushed your whole kid into the river right here. And the first thing on your mind is black men did it? What? Why? Think, ask yourself, why? Randomly, just black men, not Asian men? It wasn't two Arab men, two men with turbans on? It wasn't nothing? It was two Negroes, black American Negroes. And you better go looking for them. And guess what? The funny thing is, or tragically funny, should I say, not so funny, before cameras, and if that camera didn't exist that caught her, maybe a black man would have went to jail for that crime that he didn't commit. Because let's be real, how many times do you see video of a black man or hear story of a black man who's been exonerated, so-called, after 20, 30 years of spending his life in the penitentiary because new DNA evidence, so-called, allegedly came out proving that he didn't do that? How many times have you seen that story? Because I've been keeping track. There's dozens, too many to count, and seemingly it's always a black man who got out of prison after 30 years because, oh, whoops, they made a mistake and realized he was innocent. They might give him a little settlement, a little $600,000, or not even that. They might just pat him on the back, take a couple pictures with him, then he come out the courtroom smiling with a white lawyer. Am I the only one seeing this? It's the same repetitive shit over and over. That's why I don't make so many videos anymore. And then I saw a video today. At this point, I'm just ranting, y'all. Then I saw a video today of a man got killed in the street. Talk about I can't breathe because the police put the damn knee on this man's head, killed him on some Eric Garner shit. Every year it's a new person. Trayvon Martin, Eric Gardner, Michael Brown, Sandra Bland, Tamir Rice. It's always somebody new. Here's the newest one. Man killed right in front of the police, right on camera. And it doesn't even matter. We know they're gonna get off. I'm not even complaining about it. I'm not even stressing about it. I just wanted to give y'all clarity. This explains even further the Bible. It explains even further that we are the children of Israel. It just has to be that case. How about this? I'll make you a deal. If we aren't the children of Israel, then tell me why the hell the American Negro is so targeted to the point where people commit heinous crimes and the first thing that come out their mouth is a black person did it, even though a black person had nothing to do with it. Why are we the #1 target all the time, even when we had nothing to do with it? Someone make that make sense for me. Don't bring up the statistics about us being in prison and us doing this and our welfare and Section 8. Just make it make sense to me how someone could commit a heinous crime such as killing their autistic child, and the first thing that they decide to do is blame a black person who had nothing to do with it. If you can rightfully explain that and justify that to me, I'll stop making videos. But until then, I have to keep making videos for my people who are getting upset and my people who don't understand and my people who are agitated by this thing. We got to understand, why is Karen calling the police on every single thing you do? Even little girls selling lemonade And then when she gets caught on camera, she start crying. She gets caught, and then now her life is ruined because everybody on social media then found her information, and she got fired from her job. Now she's giving a fake ass apology. She sends out a letter, a PR, marketing scheme apology. I'm so sorry, I'm gonna learn from this. It was never my intention. All this other bullshit, man, I don't wanna hear that. Like I said, y'all out here killing y'all kids and blaming black men for it. And black men in particular, that's another thing I want y'all to say. It wasn't just a black person. It wasn't just I don't know, it was a dark person. It could have been an Indian, because that's another thing. Why are black people so targeted but say Indians are not? I've seen people from India who are blacker than this jacket. They're not getting beat over their head and yanked up out their cars with their windshield smashed in from police batons. People don't make up stories and say, oh, I think it was just a dark dude. He could have been an Arab dude, or he could have been Pakistani, or he could have been a dark-skinned Latino. No, they go straight, he was a black man. We're endangered. The endangered species. It's okay. I used to rant and rave and scream like a lunatic, which I still do, but now I have more understanding as the days go on. There's a reason why it's like this. And this just gives me more incentive to be who I really am. This gives me incentive to keep teaching and keep showing my people that we can be better. And there's a reason why. Best believe, there's a reason why you are being targeted, black man in particular. Black man, there's a reason why your name is on everyone's lips. They love to say the name black man when it comes to anything bad. But when it's time for praise, they never mention black man. Think about that. Think about what that's doing to your psyche. Think about what that's doing to the other nations of people who are viewing you when you're in the street. We're living like we're individuals out here, but really, we're a collective. When they see one of us, they see all of us. That's just what you need to get through your head. Whether you like it, love it, understand it, believe it, trust it or not, when they see one black person, they see all of us. So how about it's time for us to get on a collective code together, since they already view us as one anyway? How about let's be one for real? So with that, when they see us coming, they know what time we on for real. And with that being said, of course, you know I don't want to take too much of your time, but Karen, please stop calling the police and wasting taxpayers' money and wasting the people's time and wasting the people who really have emergencies time and calling the police for no reason, trying to threaten us to send us to jail for no reason. Stop doing that, Karen. And with that being said, you already know, please vibrate higher.
The 44-year-old has been publicly shamed after this Instagram video captured by the girl's mother went viral. It shows Edel on the phone with 911 following a confrontation over an 8-year-old girl selling water without a permit.
She calling police on an 8-year-old little girl. You can hide all you want. The whole world gonna see you, boo.
Yeah, and illegally selling water without a permit? Yeah.
On my property.
It's not your property.
When you look at it, what goes through your mind?
Embarrassment, taken out of context, manipulated. People don't understand what exactly was going on. It was something like $2 cold water, $2 cold water, just for hours.
Edel claims the original complaint was over noise. An entrepreneur in the cannabis industry, she says she couldn't concentrate on her work. An entrepreneur in the cannabis industry, she says she couldn't concentrate on her work.
Why were you selling water?
Because I wanted to help my mom, and I wanted to get the money to go to Disneyland.
Dispensaries have pulled Edel's products off the shelves. She said she's received numerous death threats, while also being called a racist.
All kinds of threats. Horrible, horrible images. And death threats.
What am I being arrested for?
You're not being arrested, ma'am. You're being detained right now.
For what? I don't smoke weed.
Listen, we smelled it coming off you when you walked down the hill.
There was a black guy that went right through it in the neighborhood. There was a black guy that went right through it in the neighborhood. I don't know what he did. He was right here. He was trying to fondle me right there, and I said, boy, you better leave me alone. I'm going to see my boyfriend. I'm trying to find a cut through there.
You got dope on you.
I'm just being detained. I like to be released unless I've committed
No, you know what?
crime.
You are under arrest.
For what?
Loading for purpose of narcotics and possession of marijuana.
I don't have any narcotics.
You got marijuana.
That's not mine.
Where'd it come from?
I told you it was that black guy with the dread.
All right.
I feel like I'm being persecuted for being white in a black neighborhood. Really? Seriously. I think this is reverse discrimination. Reverse discrimination. You're arresting the wrong person.
Okay, it was in your pocket, in your possession.
Sir, I can't help.
You were being charged with the possession.
Of what?
Of the marijuana that was in your pocket.
How much marijuana is in there?
You know what? You should listen to your wife, man. She's right. You are an asshole, man.